Nikolay Nikolayevich Raevsky was a Russian general and statesman who achieved fame for his feats of arms during the Napoleonic Wars. His family left a lasting legacy in Russian society and culture. Early life. Nikolay Raevsky was born in St. Petersburg. He descended from the Raevsky noble family which has claimed remote Scandinavian and Polish-Lithuanian ancestry. One of Peter the Great's great-grandmothers came from the Raevsky family. Nikolay's grandfather, Semyon Raevsky, was the prosecutor of the Holy Synod. The family rose to prominence in Russia when Raevsky's father, Colonel Nikolay Semyonovich Raevsky, commander of the elite Izmailovsky regiment, married Ekaterina Samoylova. Ekaterina was a lady-in-waiting and close friend of Empress Catherine II, and a niece of the Empress' influential favorite, Prince Potemkin. Ekaterina's brother was the general and statesman, Count Alexander Samoylov. Nikolay Semyonovich Raevsky was killed in action during the Russo-Turkish War at ISNI, dying several months before the birth of his son, General Nikolay Raevsky. Not long after the colonel's death, the Empress arranged for Raevsky's mother to marry a wealthy landowner, Lev Davidov, who proved to be a generous stepfather. Raevsky was enrolled in the Leibgard Semyonovsky regiment at a very early age. On the 30th of April 1777 he was promoted to sergeant, and on the 1st of January 1786 to ensign. On the 23rd of February 1789 he was transferred to the Nizhegorodsky Dragoon regiment with the rank of Premier Major. With this regiment he took part in the Russo-Turkish War 1787 to 1792 and distinguished himself to Benderian Ackerman. In recognition of his valor, Raevsky was promoted on the 1st of September 1790 to lieutenant colonel and became the chief of a Cossack regiment. After the peace treaty was concluded, he took part in the Polish-Russian War of 1792 with the Nizhegorodsky Dragoon regiment. For this campaign he received on the 28th of June 1792 the Order of St. George of the 4th degree and the Gold Sword with an inscription for bravery. When the war with Persia erupted in 1796, Raevsky, under command of Count Valerian Zubov, took part in the taking of Debent and in other engagements. Upon his ascension to the throne, Emperor Paul I recalled the army back to Russia, and had Raevsky dismissed from the military because of his relationship to Prince Potemkin, whom Paul detested. After Paul's murder, and Alexander I's assumption of the throne, Raevsky rejoined the army and was promoted to the rank of Major General. Napoleonic Wars. After Russia's failures at the outbreak of the Napoleonic Wars, Raevsky returned into the field on the 25th of April 1807. He served with Prince Pyotr Bagration in the vanguard of the Russian army. During the campaign of 1806 to 1807, Raevsky distinguished himself in numerous battles, and was awarded the Order of St. Vladimir of the 3rd degree. Raevsky, who had sustained a wound in the Battle of Heilsberg, commanded chasseurs of the advance guard in the Battle of Friedland. After the Treaty of Tilsit was concluded, Raevsky fought in the Finnish War and was present at every major engagement. For this campaign, Raevsky received the Order of St. Vladimir of the 2nd degree and obtained the rank of lieutenant general. The war over, he followed Count Nikolay Kaminsky to the Moldavian army, which took part in the Russo-Turkish War, 1806–12. His bold leadership made itself felt in the taking of Silistra. During Napoleon's invasion of Russia, Raevsky led the 7th Infantry Corps, a part of the 2nd Army led by Prince Pyotr Bagration. In the advance guard, Raevsky was responsible for delaying Davout's advance towards Moscow. After the Battle of Sultanovka, he retreated to Smolensk, where he took part in the battle for the city. During the Battle of Borodino, he protected the right wing of the Russian army, better known as the Raevsky Redoubt, winning the Order of St. George of the Third Degree. Later he pursued La Grande Armée Yakutsk and took part in the Battle of Maloyaroslavets and Battle of Krasnoy, in which he helped defeat Marshal Ney. Raevsky commanded the Grenadier Corps and protected the retreat of main forces during the Battle of Bautzen. After Austria and Prussia joined the Allies, Raevsky's corps joined the Bohemian army commanded by Karl Philipp I zu Schwarzenberg. He received the Order of St. Vladimir of the First Degree for the Battle of Kulm, near Wachau. He was seriously injured. For his feats of arms he was promoted full general and received the Austrian Military Order of Maria Theresa of the Third Degree. When the Russian army entered Saxony, Raevsky was forced to return to Russia because of his poor health. Having recovered from his illness, Raevsky rejoined the army during the Battle of Leipzig, commanding 2 Grenadier Corps. When at the Rhine, he took over command from Peter Wittgenstein and leading this army during the taking of Paris. After Napoleon's defeat, General Raevsky was given the honor of entering Paris at Alexander I's side. Later years and family. In 1794, Raevsky married Sophia Alexandrovna Konstantinova, the granddaughter and heiress of the scientist Mikhail Lomonosov. Sophia brought with her a substantial dowry, consisting of an estate at Oranienbaum with over 6,000 serfs. The Raevskys had 6 children, 2 sons and 4 daughters. After the Napoleonic Wars ended, Raevsky settled with his family at Boldishka, an estate left to him by his stepfather. Boldishka was a large estate near the banks of the Dnieper River in Kirovohrad Oblast, Ukraine. The land was fertile and there were over 10,000 serfs to cultivate it. In May 1821, during a visit to the Caucasus, Raevsky befriended a young Alexander Pushkin and traveled with him to the Crimea. Pushkin would form close friendships with Raevsky's sons, his sons-in-law, and his half-brother, Vasily Davidov, all members of the Southern Society that helped plot the Decembrist revolt of 1825. The general's eldest son, Alexander, served as the model for the protagonist of Pushkin's poem, The Demon, while Raevsky's daughter Maria's youthful frolics inspired Pushkin to write some of the most famous lines in Russian literature. Raevsky's favorite child, Maria, was wed at the age of 19 to Prince Sergei Volkonsky, a wealthy, liberal aristocrat, who had fought alongside General Raevsky during the Napoleonic Wars. Raevsky's eldest daughter, Ekaterina, married the wealthy young General Mikhail Fyodorovich Orlov, also a veteran of the Napoleonic Wars. Once interested in discussion of liberal reforms, Western democracy, and the teachings of the Enlightenment philosophers, by 1825 Raevsky had abandoned his youthful idealism, rejecting the notion that Russia could be anything other than an absolute monarchy. Both of Raevsky's sons and his son-in-law, Mikhail Orlov, withdrew from the Southern Society long before the Decembrist revolt occurred, and took no part in the uprising. Raevsky's half-brother, Vasily Davidov, and Prince Volkonsky, remained in the society. They were arrested along with the fellow conspirators days after the uprising in December 1825, and were taken to St. Petersburg. They were held for several months, interrogated, tried, and sentenced to hard labor and exile in Siberia. Against her father's wishes, Maria fought for the right to accompany her husband to Siberia, and managed to personally persuade the emperor to allow her to share Prince Volkonsky's exile. The Volkonskys would remain in Siberia for more than 30 years. They were only allowed to return to European Russia after the death of Nicholas I, having received a pardon from his son, Alexander II. Maria's courage, and that of the other Decembrist wives, was romanticized by Nekrasov in the poem poem, Russian Women. Raevsky died at Boltishka 4 years after the Decembrist revolt, a broken and embittered man, of pneumonia contracted while traveling to petition the emperor for leniency on his daughter's behalf. As he lay dying, he is said to have looked at a portrait of his daughter Maria and whispered, "That is the most remarkable woman I have ever known in my life."